Now, how will the storming of the US Congress affect Donald Trump's political future? Well, for some mainstream Republicans, it's proven to be the last straw. Grassroots support, as we were just hearing for the president, appears to be holding strong. Richard Good reports.
I will faithfully execute.
Donald Trump spoke of American carnage during his inauguration 4 years ago, and that's the spectre hanging over the country as his presidency ends. The tumultuous events in Washington have raised big questions about what lies ahead in the short and long term for the president. One early impact, an ebbing away of support from top allies.
Trump and I, we've had a hell of a journey. I hate it being this way. Oh my God, I hate it. From my point of view, he's been a consequential president. But today, first thing you'll see. All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough. I've tried to be helpful.
But from the real source of his hold over the country, his legion of followers, support remains strong.
There was a YouGov survey that was released this morning that showed that upwards of 45% of Republicans either strongly or somewhat approve of the storming of the Capitol building. This is the segment of the American right that relentlessly supports Trump, is convinced of his false election rigging claims, and which is extremely activated. It's also the segment of the American right that many Republican politicians regrettably are so afraid of alienating, and it's one segment of the population that might continue to support Donald Trump's political ambitions even after he leaves office.
Trump survived COVID, he survived impeachment, but whether the unwavering support of his loyal fans will be enough to help him survive this latest crisis remains to be seen, and may be determined by any legal consequences arising from the storming of the nation's capital.
Now, for more on the political fallout of last night's events, we have Aurora Porte here in the studio with us. Aurora, Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee have asked Mike Pence, the Vice President, to invoke this 25th Amendment before the presidency ends, with only 13 days left to go. What will that mean? And tell us more about exactly how it works.
Well, an impeachment at this point in Trump's presidency, which means removing the president from office, is quite unlikely. The process is quite long, and I don't believe they'll be able to garner enough support before the Biden inauguration. We've seen an impeachment process fail, and so this is very unlikely that they will be able to proceed with it in time before Biden gets inaugurated. So
it's broadly symbolic, though. That's what they want to do. They want to say, the people that are calling for this, Chuck Schumer specifically, the Senate Majority Leader, the claim, is trying to push for this in order to make symbolism, no? What does it provide that, or is it a waste of their time?
Well, I don't think it's a waste of time. We've seen kind of a redefinition of normalcy during the Trump presidency, and I think it's time for the Democrats to step down. We've seen that with President-elect Biden yesterday, taking a firm stance against Trump's actions and discourse. So this is a continuation of that, and they really need to, put their foot down and stop kind of the madness here.
What about for Donald Trump, though? What happens to him? He's going to leave office on January the 20th now. We know that. What are the repercussions for him?
I think what happened yesterday really has backfired, right? He had the support of many of the Republican lawmakers in his criticism of the election, but now I think it's gone too far. And so he's losing support from some of his main supporters, like we just saw Lindsey Graham, the senator from South Carolina, saying enough is enough. So he's losing this traction that he had, because remember, supporting Trump for Republicans meant having this political capital, and now he's seen as too dangerous, really. So we're seeing many Republicans actually step away from him, and he's losing traction. If I had a bet, that would be that he's going to go back to golfing and maybe not tweeting, because he's been banned from his most controversial tweets. So I see some golfing in his future, and probably bouncing back, maybe some point in the next couple of months. His supporters are still here, so he still has that grassroots support. But with the Republican Party now, I think this has come to an end.